Today, loved ones said goodbye to Otis Anderson Jr., a local football star who was shot to death last week. His funeral was held at Southside Church of God in Christ. His jerseys were framed around his casket, along with other photos of his playing days.
Today, we stand in this moment trying to manage our emotions, our thoughts of what we did not see coming.
Anderson's casket was covered in his fraternity colors and letters, his body resting behind a Los Angeles Rams football helmet, surrounded by football pictures and memorabilia, his passion for the sport front and center. His former University Christian football coach, David Penland, reflected on Anderson Jr.'s life.
We were on this earth for a short time, and in that short time, Otis lived his best life. Life is short, death is sure, sin is the cause, Christ is the cure.
Yes, he is.
Life is but a vapor. It is here for a little while and then gone.
It's a tough time right now. The team is they sad. They lost a brother, they lost a teammate, and most importantly, they lost a best friend. Otis meant a lot to everyone, and so right now, everyone is just having a hard time kind of dealing with it.
Otis Anderson Jr.'s father, Otis Anderson Sr., had always encouraged him to excel both on and off the football field. Being a brilliant athlete, Anderson Jr. and his father had a relationship based on pressure and expectations. He aspired for his son to be the greatest football player ever. Everything went out of control when Anderson Jr.'s girlfriend's dog bit Anderson Sr. What started out as a small encounter turned into a disaster that nobody could have predicted in a sad turn of events. A community was shocked when a young athlete who was once expected to be great had his promising life abruptly ended by a senseless act of violence. Before we begin this video, we would like to express our deepest sympathies to the family and friends who were severely affected by this horrible crime. We would also like to send condolences to Otis Jr.'s family and friends.
I finally be able to feel like I'm a hometown hero, just being able to come back. I know Shaq came back from Miami and he's loving it. I have a teammate that played at UCF. He's playing for the Jaguars now. And I have two actually now. And just being in Jacksonville with those guys, having the camaraderie I had before, and then being able to just drive to the stadium and be inside of the stadium on the other side of it, being an actual football player, that might bring tears in my eyes the first time.
On November 12, 1998, Otis Lee Anderson, Jr. was born into a happy family consisting of Otis Lee Anderson, Sr. and Denise Glanton Anderson. He attended the local Duval County schools, where he graduated in 2017 from University Christian High School. He attended the University of Central Florida to enhance his education. During his time as a running back at UCF, he accumulated 2,182 rushing yards, 9th in UCF history, 3,708 all-purpose yards, 8th in UCF history, 27 touchdowns, 8th in UCF history, and 6.1 yards per carry, 2nd in UCF history. In 2021, Otis joined the Los Angeles Rams as an undrafted free agent. Otis was a member of the famous Lambda Omega Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. He loved running in field, traveling, and playing PlayStation 5. On November 29, 2021, Anderson Jr. moved back in with his parents after being cut from the Los Angeles Rams practice squad in September. Court filings show that there was no history of domestic violence or assault between the father and son. But on Thanksgiving weekend night, Anderson Sr.'s wife told authorities that her husband grew upset after being bitten by their son's girlfriend's dog. Anderson Jr. rushed downstairs to see what had happened and got into a fight with his father. His mother told him to return upstairs, and he evidently complied. Then she and her spouse began arguing, according to the article. He flipped the downstairs recliner, prompting the son to return downstairs and check on his mother. Another dispute erupted between father and son, and it appeared like they were going to fight, according to the arrest report. As his father entered the garage, the son headed to the dining area. Shots were fired when the father returned and confronted his son in the kitchen. Anderson Jr. was shot in the chest, and his mother grazed, authorities said. According to Anderson Sr., he had the right to self-defense when his son charged at him. According to court documents, he said he had no memory of shooting at his wife, who he claimed had come in the way of them. He repeated himself, saying his son had never treated him disrespectfully. He claimed several times that he had been attacked in his own house on police body camera footage taken after his arrest, but the cops showed no interest in hearing his side of the story. Alcohol was also mentioned in the arrest report.
News 4 Jax starts right now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking details within the last 90 minutes about the killing of local football standout Otis Anderson Jr. Investigators say his father murdered him. A newly released police report reveals what happened in the moments leading up to the shooting. The University Christian star is being remembered as a great teammate and friend.
Otis is an amazing person, and he was just a great human being. And we met because of football, but it grew into so much more than that because of the type of person that he is.
In just the last hour, we learned the father and son got into a fight over a dog that belongs to Otis Anderson Jr.'s girlfriend.
The police report says the dog bit Anderson Sr., then he got a gun and ultimately shot and killed his son. Otis Jr.'s mother was grazed by a bullet. She's been released from the hospital. News 4 Jax has several reporters covering this tragedy tonight. We begin with reporter Janice Harris live from the home where it happened. Janice?
And that home right behind me, and the family being described as loving, caring, a good, wholesome family, which is why neighbors and so many people that knew them are stunned by the news that this family would also have a moment of violence. As cars go by, drivers stop and stare at the two-story cream-colored home. It's where police say Otis Anderson Sr. shot his wife, Denise, and son, Otis Anderson Jr. Anderson Jr. died. This is Anderson Sr. in court earlier today for his first court appearance. He had nothing to say.
Mr. Anderson, you're charged with first-degree murder and first-degree attempted murder. I find probable cause on both charges and appoint the public defender's office to represent you.
According to police, the shooting took place after Anderson Sr. became enraged when his son's girlfriend's dog bit him. Neighbor Carl Jones is near speechless at the thought of violence among the family.
It was shocking. I was shocked to find out something that had happened, but it's predictable in these days and time. My son got murdered last year, my only son. So the violence is awful.
An outpouring of mourners has grown on social media this morning. Anderson Jr. was a well-known athlete at University Christian before he went to play for the University of Central Florida and then briefly for the Los Angeles Rams. According to friends, Anderson Sr.'s wife, Denise Anderson, who was also shot, once worked for the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Many remain in disbelief tonight that a family known for being loving and supportive would become violent. And we received this statement from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office saying the men and women of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office join me in mourning the Anderson family as they deal with last night's incredible tragedy. While the investigation continues to be carried out, we would encourage everyone to keep the family in your prayers as they work through this very difficult time. That coming from Sheriff Mike Williams. Also, Anderson Sr., he will have his arraignment on December 22nd. And coming up tonight, more on the story. You'll hear from the pastor at University Christian that knew Anderson Jr. and his entire family very well, reflecting on his character and the great loss this will be to the community. Reporting live on the North Side, Janice Harris, Channel 4, the local station.
The father of former Jacksonville football player Otis Anderson Jr. has pleaded guilty to reduced charges in his son's death. Otis Lee Anderson Sr., 53, was first charged with second-degree murder and attempted second-degree murder for the shooting death on November 29, 2021, at their Johnson Lake Court home off Dunn Avenue. The state attorney's office reported that he was sentenced to 12 years and 6 months in prison after pleading guilty to armed manslaughter and armed attempted manslaughter. He gets credit for 707 days of time served while awaiting trial. The state attorney's office recommended that the family did not wish to address the court. For the family to lose such a young person at the hands of his father is just heartbreaking. With the memories they shared with him, we hope that everyone impacted by his passing finds comfort. We wish them peace. If you would like to stay updated with this type of content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the following video.